What's going on, everybody? I got to sit down yesterday night and watch Prey. I went to sleep and I thought about everything and I wanted to do my review for it. So let's get into it. So I took some notes. Obviously, in 1719 in the Northern Great Plain, a character by the name of Naru, she's part of a Comanche tribe. They end up, essentially she's trying to become a great hunter. The war chief, in a sense, is the person that goes out and hunts something bigger than them and brings it back and shows the tribe that they are the hunter. Well, she goes on through this movie where her brother Tabby, or Taabe, Tabby, however you want to say it, pretty much goes on to tell her, oh, you can do it, and he pretty much uses her, and in a sense, he becomes the war chief. Well, with her dog Sari by her side, she ends up going out through the forest, and they realize that there's a lion, or as what they think is a lion. Well, with that, it becomes a predator, and this movie is suspenseful. It's jaw-dropping, and it's amazing. So with that being said, I thought I would put together some of these little, I put them on my screen now. They're little bullet points. I think it'd be easy. Obviously, characters, plot, CGI. So with that being said, I have it on my screen just because I'm not the best with remembering character names. But let's go over it. So Naru is the main character. It's part of the tribe. I think she's a well-done character, and she definitely stands toe-to-toe with Duke. Not with, obviously raw sheer power, but with the way that she thinks, the way that Duke, which was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is a military guy, macho, just shoots the gun, screams loud, do it now, all that whole thing against the predator. Well, Naru takes a different plane. She's a smaller, more agile woman, and she essentially, builds weapons, and she's a great tracker, and she's a great medic, and she puts all this together and realistically is the ultimate hunter for the human species. So, between her and the predator, the whole movie, they constantly coincide where these two characters, like when she's hurt, the predator's hurt, and they're both healing up, and it shows these back-to-back kind of comparisons, and I really like that they did that in this film. I think it was a great way to touch on it. As for some of the other characters fall short, such as Naru's mom and, just other random characters. Like, realistically, unless it's Naru or Tabi, you don't really know any other characters' names. Like, that's really all. I mean, it's really just her and her dog, and then her brother, throughout part of the movie. As for the plot, the whole thing is Native American. She is going and trying to kill this predator and bring it back to show that she is the ultimate hunter. The thing that she says in the end, towards the end of the movie, that really makes sense is she says, "You don't think I'm deadly, which is what makes me so deadly." The things that you don't take serious are usually the things that are the bigger problem. So, with that, and it's cool because in every single Predator movie, they always used mud. Mud was the way to stop the Predator because the Predator couldn't see with the heat vision essentially that they have. Well, she actually, being a medic, uses this flower that actually cools down your blood, which, obviously makes you, in a sense, she's hurt, she takes medicine, makes her cold-blooded, lowers her heat temperature, which the predator can't see. So it's really cool. It's just the way that she does. She builds traps. She has this tomahawk with a hook on it that she throws. Like, she's very creative, and it's really, really cool. I also really like that they went from a different time era. We went in 1719, which was, more than 300 whatever years ago. So I like the way that they touched up on that. It wasn't, everything wasn't current era like the last couple Predator movies have been, So I think that was a great touch. I really liked this Predator. I liked that he was smaller, he was faster, he was not stronger, he was more agile though. But at the same time, creatures and animals and everything that he was hunting, take in mind this was the first time they were on Earth, they could hurt him. He fights a wolf, the wolf hurts him, but then he kills the wolf. Fights a bear, the bear goes toe-to-toe with the predator, which was probably one of the best scenes in the whole movie until the predator obviously picks up the bear and kills the bear. But I also like that they really showed that the predator doesn't just skin its victims once it kills them, that it actually uses somewhat of like a blowtorch to melt all the skin and everything off of it so it can keep the skull and the spine for like a trophy. I really like that they dove into that. However, they didn't show the predators come down after and, talk to the tribe girl after she killed that predator. I think that would have been cool if, Naru would have been leaving the field and then more predators would have came. But if you watch the end credits, a ship does come at the end. So a lot of people probably didn't see the end credits for this film. which, obviously, and then it also shows us a gun from Predator 2. I can't remember the name on it, but the grand or the elder Predator actually gives it to the main guy in Concrete Jungle. So it's a good touchback. It's just a good, well-rounded movie. As for the CGI, I think the CGI was well. I mean, there was parts that weren't very good. Like the bear didn't look the greatest, the wolf didn't look the greatest, the snake didn't look the greatest. You could tell from afar they did, but from close up they didn't. You could tell they were computer generated, but obviously with this kind of movie, you kind of had to do that. The mountains, the scenery, and the cinematography were amazing, though. The mountains, their teepees, just the rivers, everything that was made and established and put together looked amazing. The sets looked great. All the scenes were well put together. Except, like I said, some of the animals looked really fake, but they kind of had to be unless you maybe trained a bear. I apologize. It's been a long morning already. We went to Disneyland. But yeah, that was those three parts for that one for me. So the characters, the plot, and the CGI. Characters, I'd probably say a 3.5 out of 5 because there wasn't enough characters and they just really, a lot of them were throwaway characters. As for the plot, I would give the plot a 4 out of 5 as it wasn't anything new from the old Predator film. It was just kind of like a rehash of it, but it was still cool. A little bit different how the characters are developed. And as for the CGI, I give it a 4 out of 5. However, next we have is the ending. Does it live up to the last film? And score 1 out of 10. Once again, I'm going to reiterate some of these. So the ending. Once she kills the predator, she brings the predator's head back after she cut it off, and she gives it to her tribe, which then they knight her. They knight her. They knight her war chief. So she's technically their greatest hunter, their greatest fighter after her brother died. Her brother also apologized. I like that there was development between her and her brother. Like her brother seemed like he was trying to help her, then he would kind of betray her in a sense, and then at the end he went out saving her. Does it live up? I don't think compared to obviously, Predator 1 or Predators or, I liked Alien vs. Predator, so I just don't think this Predator lived up to that one, being the fact that this Predator was so much weaker. I understand at the same time that it's years and years and years before, but at the same time, this Predator was so much smaller, so much weaker, so much underdeveloped, and it didn't look like the normal Predators. It's still cool, but it wasn't like the normal Predators. It was very underdeveloped. It was a very underdeveloped creature. So I guess that's what made it cool. It could be hurt. It wasn't like where it took all this time for Arnold to realize, if it could bleed, I could kill it, or whatever he says. But, it's a totally different creature, which made it cool. I do like that, it took, I think it was buffalo skin and put it over its face like a mask. And the cool thing also is how they showed the French trackers were capturing, buffaloes and skinning them and capturing animals and skinning them and selling them and using these traps. And it really made an emphasis on once they caught Naru she got caught in a trap on her foot, that the predator didn't kill her, that the whole emphasis around the predator was they wanted the greatest hunt. They didn't want to hunt something that was weak or something that couldn't fight back. Hence why it left her alone. So in a sense, they had a sense of communication. I mean, not realistically, but you could tell there was a sense of communication where the predator understood her and she understood the predator. And then at the end, they had their battle. So I like that. I think that was cool. And I also really liked the fact that they constantly had you rushing. So she was running, she got stuck in the mud. It had the music going fast and you were constantly like, oh shoot, the predator's coming. He's going to kill her. He was in stealth in the air, in the trees. The cool thing was this predator felt threatening the whole movie through. He felt scary because these people, they didn't have the technology. They didn't have guns. They didn't have spears. They had little sticks and a tomahawk. So it was a little bit different. So I really liked the way they did that. They made the humans seem very weak compared to the Predator, unlike in the other movies where, the Marines obviously had high-tech guns and all these kind of weapons and whatnot. They also showed us some new Predator weapons like the disc that went up in the air and shot lasers all around. And, I just really liked the development of this whole movie. This whole movie was good. It was fast-paced. There was nothing slow. There was no, I can't remember who said it, and they did a review saying that part of this movie was slow. I don't think anything of this was slow. I think this was a great, amazing movie. If I had to score this movie, I would definitely put it in my top 3, I would say. It would probably be behind, I would say it'd be behind Predators. So, Predator 1, Predators, and then Prey, in my opinion. So with that being said, 1 to 10, I'd probably give it an 8 or an 8.5. Probably an 8.5. It probably does have some rewatchability. Not as good as the other ones, like I said, but still enjoyable. So yeah, let me know what y'all thought. If you guys watch Prey, if not, give it a watch. As always, my name's Bretta. Have a great rest of your night.